The fan cam catches the basketball as it glances off the hoop. It hits the ground to a disappointed awe from the crowd, but one voice cuts through the noise. "Hey, 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". A blond boy grins wide, too wide. His chant tolls like a funeral bell. 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". Each call grows louder, deeper. The room vibrates. Darkness creeps in. No one reacts. No one even moves. The boy's jaw stretches unnaturally wide. Blue light spills from his mouth, then his eyes. Cracks spiderweb across the frozen crowd, splitting their bodies like porcelain. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Boom. Everyone in the room, save for the boy, explodes into ash, completely disintegrated. Even the person holding the camera explodes into nothingness. How many lives taken? Exactly 6, 7. And across the room, out of a pile of ash, another one of these exact same little boys rises up, exactly the same as the first one in every detail. They look at one another across the court and share a wide smile. Then they start repeating the same digits again. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. You might not know it, but this is happening all over the world right now. Right when a certain video started going viral, one that many simply refer to as 6'7 Kid. But this is more than just a meme. It's a straight-up anomaly, and one that might just ruin everything if the Foundation doesn't make a tough but necessary decision. Removing the current SCP-067 and instead giving that designation to the 6'7 Kid. And we're going to tell you exactly why Foundation intervention is needed in order to prevent the situation from getting so much worse. And that's saying something, given how many people are already dead. If you were to ask the shills at Know Your Meme about this, they'd say, 6'7 Song, also known as 6'7 Meme, refers to the song Doot Doot by Skrilla featuring G Herbo, a hip-hop song released in December 2024 that was popularized on TikTok and Instagram Reels in January 2025. Everyone loves Doot Doot. It's why Skrilla is the most popular musician in the world. But there was a tear in the fabric of reality that opened when that song was released, and it allowed a terrifying entity through. A creature known as Mason. If you've seen the video of the so-called 6'7 Kid floating around on TikTok or YouTube, you've already seen this creature in action. It's a pseudo-demonic pataphysical entity formed out of the bonded perceptions of the typical Gen Z child. The kind of kid who'd yell out goofy TikTok memes at Walmart, or chat out rap lyrics at a basketball sideline. But it's not a real child. It's an extremely dangerous extra-dimensional being constructing a homunculus, an artificial body that might even believe it's truly alive. The creature uses this to resemble a child and imitate all the stale memes that it would imagine a child of that age to make. It's all part of its disguise. To most people, the meme is just strange and a little annoying. But upon looking into it, we found that it's tied into a huge number of deaths and disappearances all across the United States. And if you don't believe us now, let us tell you about the evidence we've gathered up. And then, oh then, you will believe. James McGrory was given the lethal injection last month for the murder of his family. This was despite him claiming until the last moment that his family had actually been taken by a small blonde boy whose mouth stretched open unnaturally wide. He was written off naturally as a delusional madman. Now, we're not so sure. There was a similarly bizarre incident with a girl named Lizzie Haig, who, in the weeks before her disappearance, was worried about being stalked by a child that seemingly only she could see. She went missing earlier in September 2025. When her diary was found by police, they were unsure of the significance of the number of 6s and 7s scrawled across the last few pages. She was never seen again. 2 young children who also disappeared, leaving their parents emotional wrecks, also reported seeing a strange blue light through their window the night before. The exact blue light that's been known to emerge from the mouths of Masons before they engage in particularly anomalous behavior. Speaking of anomalous, There's also the question of why the original video went viral in the first place, despite it seeming to be so unremarkable. Isn't it just some dorky kid quoting a popular hip-hop piece courtside at a basketball game with his friends? The meme itself is a cognito hazard of sort. Mason engages in the part of us that wants to believe life is simple, that people can be flattened into easily digestible stereotypes. And that is exactly what the entities behind the Mason phenomenon want. Every time we laugh, every time we view him, we inoculate ourselves to the true horror he represents. And that makes him even more powerful every second. If the SCP Foundation believes he's just a harmless meme, just a real little boy, then it might delay their intervention. And every second they don't intervene costs lives. And then, most menacingly of all, there are the 6-7 events. These are specific mass casualty events where exactly 67 people were killed under mysterious circumstances. These are also believed to be birthing events for additional instances of Mason. Here are just a few of these that we've been able to record. In August, a small passenger plane crashed over the Rockies, leaving 67 dead. One of the last tweets made by a passenger on the plane was someone complaining about a kid on the plane shouting dead memes at the top of his lungs. First responders reported seeing 2 small figures running away through the flames. Another incident was a gas line explosion that destroyed a small supermarket, killing, you guessed it, 67 people. 2 young boys, listed as identical twins, were picked up by first responders, but disappeared from the hospital later that night. We have every reason to believe this was just another 6-7 event that birthed an additional Mason. The same is true of a severe flood that swept through a small town in New Mexico. 67 were left unaccounted for, but one survivor claimed they saw 2 little blonde boys paddling away on a small raft. There were also reports of a strange blue glow just before the horrors of the flood began in earnest. A similar incident occurred when a horrific fire tore through a hospital in Des Moines, Iowa. 67 patients, especially in the ICU who were unable to move, were killed in the fire. But in the moment the building collapsed, despite the firefighters' best efforts, 2 little boys, completely unburned, were seen walking out of the flames around the front door. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. It all comes back to 6, 7. In Pythagorean sacred numerology, 67 is a number with apocalyptic associations. If you are to study both the Mayan and Devite calendars, you'd see that 67 is the sum of the last 10 significant numbers before the end of the world, and multiple people who have died at the age of 67 have reported seeing visions of fire and demons while in the throes of death itself. And we see those numbers return here too, don't we? You may have also noticed that given the boy doesn't say 67 but 67, he also may be inviting us to add 2 numbers together. And what does that equal? 13, the unlucky number, the number of misfortune. But it goes further. If you subtract 3 from 7, or 2 from 6, you get 4, which connotes death in some Eastern cultures. It's also 1 and 2, respectively, away from 8, which is a lucky number in some Eastern cultures, meaning that it actively rejects luck. And it's at least 2 away from 69, which means it is not nice. Why is it that a new Mason is birthed every time a 6-7 event, an incident where exactly 67 people are killed, occurs? We believe that this is building to a far wider, far more cosmic 6-7 event. If these beings aren't stopped, there will be 67 Masons. Based on the individual Hume level of each Mason, 67 of them may be the exact number of them needed to reach a kind of reality-altering critical mass. If 67 Masons happen, we will see reality itself collapse into a new world of nightmarish horror, and everyone will die. You will die. All of this theorizing may have you wondering, what is the original SCP-067? And does it really deserve the spot that this mysterious and deadly meme child could occupy instead? Don't worry, we did some investigating and figured out exactly what this mysterious thing is. It's an anomaly known as the Artist's Pen, and it is undeniably an extremely strange one. At face value, nothing appears that strange about the pen, It's an ornate fountain pen of German design, which has endured an unusual amount of time without any degradation. The fountain pen also uses a special type of ink that is typically not used outside of visual art projects, despite the fact that this kind of ink, in theory, would ruin the pen. But that doesn't happen. Instead, if you're not careful, the pen will ruin you. If the pen is placed in a person's hand, it will fully take control over their body. Most of the time, they'll begin writing out their very own detailed biography on whatever surface is nearest. But this won't be one of those fluffy celebrity autobiographies that inevitably end up getting discounted within a week of release. You'll write down some of your darkest fears, your regrets, the most terrible things you've done. If you end up doing this in front of the wrong audience, then terrible consequences might just follow. But as the name, the artist's pen, implies, it also has a much more artistic side to it. Oh yes, for some people holding the pen, they'll draw incredibly impressive and intricate designs, which is definitely less incriminating than just deciding to write down every bad thing you've ever done for everyone to see. Though really, could the threat being presented here even hold a dim candle to the horrors of Mason 6-7? The phenomenon that could literally end the world if he isn't kept in check? We think not. The Foundation should immediately swap the numbers, if only to preserve the apparent link between the figure associated with this anomaly and its official designation. So how could we guarantee that the change is made? Thankfully, we have a plan for that too. We must first track down the pen and then completely destroy it. Perhaps we could try to run over the pen with a car, or maybe cut it up into little pieces and eat them, knowing that human stomach acid is actually capable of destroying solid steel in the right circumstances. Our logic here being, if the pen is officially terminated by means outside of the Foundation itself, the slot will then be free to allow the far more dangerous Mason 6-7 into its place. And if the Foundation doesn't seriously start looking at this relatively soon, then who knows how much danger we could all be in. Wait, did you hear that? No, not in the video, that was in your house. We swear we could just hear one of your doors creeping open, as though someone is trying to enter without being detected. Those footsteps, don't they sound strangely light? Almost like a child has entered your home. Did you hear them? Those faint words, a high-pitched whisper. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Oh no, it's one of them, isn't it? One of the Masons. They're in your home, and they know you're here. They know you are watching this video. They don't want anyone to be aware of what's really happening out there, how they're really taking over. Close the door to the room you're in now. It won't stop them for long, but it'll at least hold them off. You need to barricade the door. Think of a plan. It might be simply moments before they're upon you. You can hear the words, can't you? 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. You can hear them banging up against the door now. They're so strong for their size. Wood begins to buckle and splinter under their force. You can see that faint blue glow beneath the doorway. If they get in, you'll be killed, or worse, changed. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. At least you can hope the SCP Foundation will be there in time. This isn't the kind of thing that would ever happen to you, right? You wouldn't just die or get taken. You're special. Except that's not going to happen, is it? Because the SCP Foundation doesn't officially acknowledge Mason 6-7 as the true SCP-067. They're too busy keeping track of some stupid pen instead. Not this deeply important, deeply serious matter. You will die because the Foundation doesn't care about memes. They don't care about memes. The planet is dying. You're dying. The last generation of children has already been born. There is only death and pain and fear and blood. Your life and your time are worthless. Your dreams are worthless. There will only be suffering because what's left of the future is Mason. And Mason is already here. The door is broken. He's inside your room. You won't be missed. None of us will. Nothing can save you now. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Now go check out SCP-5094 Miss J's WizKid Schoolhouse. And Children of SCP-001 The Scarlet King, is SCP-999 really his son? For more.